How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and another BlackBerry is in the house. The BlackBerry Torch 9810. It's here. It's available now on AT&T for $49.99, so it's a lot cheaper than that bold 9900, 9930, which is coming out on AT&T's competitors. Now, specs-wise, it has a 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon processor, so definitely an improvement in the speed department. Same size display, 3.2-inch display, but it's a higher resolution display versus the old Torch 9800. 5 megapixel camera on the back, 1,270 milliamp hour battery with a little bit of a different battery cover and a slightly different color on the outside as well. It comes in this and comes in white. And like I said, it's available now at AT&T, and it's running BlackBerry 7. Now, can 7 compete with Android or iOS? We'll take a look at the review, but first, special thanks to my buds at Best Buy, because when you walk into Best Buy, you walk out working. They'll help you get your email, your web set up on this thing, so when you walk out, you're good to go. They hook us up with a lot of phones for use in our One Paw Bandit game, so we're always super appreciative for that. Enough of that, let's get into it. Review, BlackBerry Torch 9810. Is this the BlackBerry to have? We'll find out. So here's the Torch 9810. It's available now on AT&T for $50, and it really competes on AT&T, given their current smartphone lineup. It competes with the iPhone 3GS, and it's nice to see a BlackBerry coming in at $50. And granted, it doesn't have the same metal sides or high-quality materials that the 9900 and the 9930 have, but still, for $50, you can't beat it. I mean, I think people are looking at the T-Mobile 9900, which is $350 out of pocket, and they're thinking, well, really, should I buy this? Or should I buy the one on Verizon for $250 when I can get an iPhone 4 or an Android device for $199? Maybe, maybe not. But it's nice to see one at the $50 price point. It competes well in AT&T's smartphone lineup. But under the hood, some significant improvements. A 1.2 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, so almost double what the Torch 9800 was running. And you can see the color difference as well. So design-wise, almost identical. A little bit of a design difference over here with the plastic and with the kind of chrome on the sides. You'll see a lighter silver on the 9810, and of course the battery door is different on the 9810 as well from the 9800. And of course the internals have changed. 3.2-inch display on this, but the display is a higher resolution display now. And you can, I'm going to hold it up to the camera and see if you can see. Sorry for the out of focus picture there, but you can hopefully get an idea. It's a much better looking display, and holding them side by side is a noticeable difference in real life. So if you're coming from the 9800, or even if you didn't like the 9800, take a look at the screen on this one, because it is a huge improvement. But you're going to see these speed bumps everywhere. I mean, look at how fast these things load. I mean, it's very quick as opposed to previous BlackBerry devices. I mean, there's no lag whatsoever. It opens up everything very, very quickly, and I've been pleased with it throughout my testing. So 5 megapixel camera on the back with flash and with autofocus, which is actually something the 9900 and the 9930 they're missing, which is kind of frustrating. So you have this kind of weird looking battery door. You may love it, you may hate it. I think it's kind of gaudy. I would put the 9800 battery door on it, but hey, personal preference. So you've got the micro SD card slot back here, and you have your 1,270 milliamp hour battery. Now, 1,270 milliamp hour battery should make it through the day, considering this is a GSM device. If this were a CDMA device, I'd say, well, not so sure it's going to make it, but it should be just fine with moderate use. With moderate use and sending a couple of BBMs, because I put the pin of this device on my Twitter account so people could write me, I've been making it about a day with moderate use, a few phone calls here and there, things like that. But you get the same home screens, and let's actually open it up and see what comes pre-installed out of the box. You get all your typical applications, and you'll notice some of the icons have changed. Text messaging has changed, browsers changed, media, they're all kind of higher resolution, better looking images, calendar, things like that. You get visual voicemail, you get RIM's social feeds application, which when you have BlackBerry Messenger and Twitter and Facebook running, it's kind of a social aggregation software where you can bring in all your messages, all your updates into one program. I don't use social feeds, maybe you will if you get the device, but it's cool that it's on there nonetheless. AT&T Maps and Navigator, AT&T App Center, YP Mobile, Facebook and Twitter pre-installed, and then in applications, here's where all the AT&T stuff is. Family Map, My AT&T, Code Scanner, the Weather Channel, Bloomberg Mobile, Fandango, Wikitude, and then BlackBerry Protect. You do get your instant messaging stuff as well, which there's not a dedicated folder out of the box in this device, but you get Google Talk, Yahoo Messenger, Windows Live, and then you get games as well, Need for Speed Shift, Bejeweled, Wordmole, and Brick Breaker. So quite a few games out of the box, and of course the iconic Brick Breaker is installed as well. But outside of that, it's all the same. But you can just see the fluidity of this device, and you can use, of course, the touchscreen if you want to, or you can use the trackpad. And you notice that the send and end keys aren't colored anymore, but you have send and end, and then you have the menu key and back along with a trackpad. On the right side, you have the convenience key, volume rocker, 3.5mm headphone jack. You can set this to any shortcut you want to on the device. So I have mine set, or had it set, to messages, but of course you can configure it how you want to. Your micro USB charging port is over here. That will be a scuff that I made while I think I dropped it in my kitchen. Sorry about that, AT&T. And then I have the lock button over here, and then I have the mute button up top. Camera's on the back, of course. So it's a good looking device. You know, it's a little bit different. I will say the keyboard is much smaller than the 9900, the 9930. So when you have somebody like me that's been using the 9930 as part of my BlackBerry challenge, and you can read about that on the site, you'll see the difference in the size of the keys. I've been using this consistently for the past couple weeks, or since it came out since I got it last Tuesday, and the keys here are substantially larger, and it's kind of hard to go back to these kind of chiclety keys after you've worked with the keys on the 9900 9930. Still, it's nice to have that physical QWERTY keyboard, and when you don't want it, you can close it and use the on-screen keyboard as well. Let's take a look at text messaging on that note to see what how the keyboards perform, and then of course open that up, and you can just see how quick everything loads. I mean, I think it's a noticeable difference. I know it is a noticeable difference from 9800 and BlackBerry 6. So you can see the on-screen keyboard's been changed as well. The keys look slightly different, and of course you can use it in portrait or in landscape. Now this is a 3.2-inch display. It's not the largest display in the world. It's smaller than the iPhone 4's display, much smaller than some of the big behemoths like the Photon 4G, the Evo 3D, the Sensation, etc. But you do get the on-screen keyboard, and then when you want to get rid of that, you can of course open up and use the physical QWERTY, and it automatically goes away. You can attach stuff down here. You can put in your so we'll just say the quick brown fox likes to swim in, what does he like to swim in? The quick brown fox likes to swim in, let's think, hazelnut coffee. Quick brown fox likes to swim in hazelnut coffee. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but you get the idea. Quick brown fox likes to swim in hazelnut coffee, and of course I can use the on-screen keyboard as well. And you know, the correction's pretty decent. It's not going to be the best in the world. It definitely pales in comparison to the on-screen keyboards that you'll find in Android or in iOS. But hey, this ain't Android or iOS, sucker. This is BlackBerry. Hey there, how are you? Which I'm failing at the keyboard. Let's try in portrait, see if I'm any better at that. Hey there. But you get the idea. The keys are a little bit different looking, and then you'll notice that, I think this is pretty cool, you'll notice that nothing is here, but as soon as I put in a number, we'll do old man, and I come back, the send button has auto-populated. So very cool there. So you get the on-screen keyboard option, you get the physical QWERTY. So here's the email list, and you can see some of the applications from BlackBerry App World, or at least updated versions are still available. You'll see a direct message from Twitter, and then here is an email. So we'll load this up and take a look, and you can just see how quickly it loads up. And then of course at the bottom you have reply, forward, reply all, and delete, and you can access the full menu by hitting the BlackBerry key and scrolling down and seeing all the different stuff there. So we'll go ahead and reply just as a test so you can see what it looks like, and I can use it of course in portrait or in landscape when the keyboard's closed, and then when the keyboard, the physical keyboard is out, I can use it in portrait mode only. So we'll say, hey there, how's it going? And you can of course save as drafts, you can send, you can attach stuff, or you can view information about the email. So very cool there. And you know, again, not a huge change from past versions of BlackBerry OS, you know, be it 5 or 6, but still nice to see some speed improvements. Let's take a look at browser. We'll load that up. We'll go to our favorite website in the world, phonedog.com, and this is an area where they've made significant improvement. RIM says that the browsing experience is 40% better from 6 to 7 and 100% better from 5 to 7. So, you know, in my opinion, it's a million times better because it's actually functional now. You know, before, a couple days in, even with the Torch, I used the Torch in Barcelona during Mobile World Congress, and I was like, this browser just needs work. I mean, there's no way I could, you know, complement or even supplement my or supplement this device in place of my iOS or my Android device. The browsing experience is just terrible. Huge improvements here, and you can see the pinch to zoom capabilities here, and you still get some checkerboarding, but you can see how much faster it is. I can go over here and view these pictures quickly. I can zoom back out, and yeah, you're getting some checkerboarding, like I said, but still huge improvements on the speed front. Much easier to open up a second window. I can go up there to the top, open up a second window, bring up CNN, for example, and then flip right back to PhoneDog. And you can see the page is loading. I can go in here, I can double tap, bring up the featured content, go to the BB Challenge, BlackBerry Challenge, because I'm on day 7 with my 9930, so I can open that up, and you see how quick and how easy everything loads. And then over here I can access the RSS feed, add to bookmarks, page address, copy page address, things like that, and then while that's loading, I'll flip back over to CNN. So the multitasking is much better, and I'll go ahead and close the keyboard so you can see. Multitasking is much better, and just the overall speed is a huge improvement. I mean, check how fast it goes from portrait to landscape. That's pretty speedy for a BlackBerry device. So you can thank that 1.2 gigahertz processor. It's much faster than previous BlackBerries, and it's finally one of those phones where I'm like, I can use this on a day-to-day basis as an actual web browsing device. So you can see the text auto-wrapped there, and so down through here, I can read it, and go back up and see that awful picture of myself. Hey, like them apples. And then I can go back up here. So very easy on the pinch to zoom front. Really impressed with the browser. That was a big one for me because I do browse the web quite a bit on my smartphone. Much, much easier to use on this device than BlackBerries of the past. I'm really impressed that I can finally go without using my Android, my iOS devices.